Hey, how's it going, everybody? Quick video today, really just, comparing Boost to Metro by T-Mobile. Not just the data, even though I am going to show you guys data speeds. Since they run and operate on different networks, Boost Mobile that I have runs on the AT&T network, and Metro by T-Mobile runs on, obviously, a T-Mobile network. So there are, differences there. And obviously, you know, I gotta say that the AT&T side of Boost Mobile has stepped up recently and is doing quite well. And of course, we'll look at the detailed results. Zero packet loss. So that's one of the things that I look for. So 559 down, 58.9 up, 18 on the ping, and we'll do the same thing here. 491 down, 25.1 up, 14 on the ping. So not bad. Even though the war between Boost Mobile and Metro by T-Mobile has raged on for a good length of time. I would say over a decade, over a decade between these two service providers. And there's a few things that can be pointed out that makes Metro by T-Mobile better than Boost Mobile, and there's things that's pointed out with Boost Mobile, that has the advantages over Metro by T-Mobile. Now, first of all, my line with Boost Mobile is in fact postpaid. Um, it is not prepaid at all whatsoever. So that you have to take into consideration. Now, why does anyone have to take that into consideration? Currently, at this time with Boost Mobile, there's not a lot of perks and advantages being a Boost Mobile postpaid customer, but that's to probably change that in the future. While Metro by T-Mobile, it has its perks for prepaid customers. However, if you really want those like super great deals, you're gonna have to go postpaid, which is something that Metro by T-Mobile does kind of push. They do kind of push their customers that to move up from Metro by T-Mobile and convert their account to a T-Mobile postpaid account. With Boost Mobile, they're kind of blurring the lines with prepaid and postpaid. So it's just one of those things where it's like they don't really primarily focus on that. However, they do give awesome deals when it comes to smartphone devices. And of course, the more expensive your plan is, the more savings you'll get on the device. That's just a given. That's just a push for, Boost Mobile to kind of compete out there in the market. When it comes to the network side of things, it's a little bit different when comparing Boost Mobile to Metro by T-Mobile. Boost Mobile being that, like I said, my line runs on the AT&T network access, so that is not native Boost 5G. And while native Boost 5G is in areas in my city, it's not everywhere in my city. And that is the reason why that even though like I was to add a line, the add lines that I added to the Boost Mobile account all came with AT&T SIM cards. It's just there's not enough build out here. And I don't know exactly when they're going to do the build out and where Boost 5G will be native. But that's something which is, what I would tell most people out there. Honestly, it's not an argumentative point if you're debating which is better. Boost Mobile may be building out its own native 5G. Metro by T-Mobile has its own native 5G. It is prepaid to T-Mobile, and T-Mobile has their own network. We cannot forget that. Um, they are kind of going slightly different ways, right? Compared to what they used to be before. It just used to be the battle of the prepaids. And, when it comes to devices, Metro had the better selection as far as specifications of a device. You would have, like, say, the Moto, like, hypothetically speaking, okay? Say the Moto G Stylus 5G 2024. So this device is offered on both Metro and on Boost Mobile. But back in the day, it used to be where Boost Mobile would have the lower spec one, so it would have like say 32 gigabytes of internal storage, or let's go by today's standards, 64 gigabytes of internal storage, while the Metro version had 128 and 256. You know what I mean? So it was just always that weirdness. I don't know exactly what it is, but Boost Mobile always offered the lower spec of the popular mid-range devices. So the Moto Styluses, back in the day when LG was making smartphones, the G Stylus, like those devices, they were always the better specification on Metro versus it being on Boost Mobile. But In closing out, the thing about it is, Boost has a better customer service, I would say, compared to Metro by T-Mobile. Now, I'm not talking about in-store reps. I'm talking about over the phone, call in, talk to somebody. You get a slightly better experience with Boost Mobile. I've done this multiple times, calling into Metro, talking to their customer service reps who 80% of the time are rude and 90% of the time not really listening to what you have to say. Versus those that are on Boost Mobile, sometimes you get someone who is a little empathetic and will listen to what you're saying and will reciprocate what you're saying and also try to find a resolve for it. So when it comes down to over the phone customer service, I think Boost Mobile has it. When it comes over to what's offered to customers, Metro has it. Even though like I can make it with 30 gigs of data and have no problems, there are other people out there that can't. And I'm not the standard for that. And so for those people that need like a fully unlimited for 25 bucks a month, you can do that with Metro. Metro has a plan that gives you unlimited talk, unlimited text, and truly unlimited data for $25 a month. You get no hotspot, which is the same on the $25 plan with Boost Mobile. You get no hotspot unless you add it on theirs. With Metro, you get no hotspot with that $25 plan. But there's also no limitations. There's deprioritization. There's no limitations. It is literally after 35 gigs, you're only slowed down during congestion. So if you leave the area that's congested or the congestion dies down, your speeds return to normal. You won't stay on 256 kilobit per second or 512 kilobit per second speed for the rest of your build cycle. You'll go back up to normal speeds, which is a good thing. Whereas on Boost Mobile, it's for the $25 plan, it's 30 gigs. Once you pass that, you're slowed down to 512 kilobits per second. So this one, they have their plus and minuses. It just depends on what you really need. And for me, the craziestness is that while this market used to be a T-Mobile market, so far with the advancements with the AT&T network, Boost Mobile's been more reliable than Metro. There are places like yesterday where I had no service on Metro, and surprisingly enough, Boost with the AT&T network connection, I had solid service and solid data connection. So just depends on where you are. Overall, though, if I had to give it to somebody as of right now, still give it to Metro. That's just my thoughts.